Hello, my family. All right. I know that the RKelly verdict came out. I believe it was Monday morning, and I couldn't. I'm not surprised, but yet I was like, phew. Here's the thing, and I'm not going to spend too long on this. We virtually know the history with this man and what he's done to young girls, but also the people that also were complicit in helping him, whether it was some of his staff, um, you know, all kinds of people around this man. Even RKelly, that's his wife. She even knew half of the things that were going on. And I just, and everybody's saying Aaliyah finally got justice. May she rest in peace, And I would love if she was still alive today, what would she say, Now, I feel in some ways, yes, there were people that were complicit, whether staff, the parents of some of these young girls. They knew a lot of his dancers, tour managers. A lot of these people were in on this and they knew a lot of things. Now, some people kept quiet because, they didn't want to risk their jobs, to be sued. I don't know if RKelly had NDAs. I don't know. And of course, the incident with Sparkle's niece where he urinated on the girl, which will. But also, one thing I don't, everybody's like, yay, hallelujah. Now, I don't pray for nobody's downfall because it's a sad situation all around. Yet and still, I don't feel sorry for the man because he knew a lot of the things that he was doing. And whether these parents were okay with you sleeping with their daughter or whatever it was, or they want to act like things were innocent, whatever it was, you were still a grown man and you knew good enough well. And this man was scouting out girls from the 90s waiting outside of schools. Come on now. This man was posted up outside of schools waiting for these girls. See, which one's right for the picking? And poor Leah, and yes, they said Diane Horton, I think is the name of the mother. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but Aaliyah's mother knew more than what she was letting on. I'm sure her family knew more. And plus, Aaliyah's 15, 16. Here's the thing, though. And everybody say, well, she knew right from wrong. Here's the thing about that. She's still 15. She's still a child. And she's still certain things at 15, 16 years old. You may know some things, and especially your parents may inform you about certain things, but you also got to remember, you're also very impressionable at that age about a lot of things too. Worse if your parents never really educated you about men and sex in the way of the world. But when you're 15, 16, then you're like, okay, this guy could also get me my career started, all that stuff. What do you think was going through her mind? And maybe she truly had a crush on him or really liked him or maybe believed that she loved him. Maybe. Because she's 15, 16 years old. Your first love, you think that's the whole world. But he was a grown ass man at the time. And then when he suddenly broke up with her, I think it was, the uncle or the father broke them up or found out when they got married. And of course, and he forged the documents. Okay. And I'm not trying to go over the whole history of, everything just all over again. But I just want to reinforce this. That as parents, we gotta, parents gotta be mindful of who their children are hanging around, especially when it comes to, adults, especially the entertainment industry and stuff like that. Let's not forget that some of these parents are not innocent either. And sometimes they hope to pimp out their daughter for a payday. Just like with Joycelyn Savage and RKelly. I'm not so sure if they're totally innocent in all this. Forgive me, God, if I'm wrong. But, you know, I just don't see how they could be totally blind. And knowing this man's history, stuff from way back before they were spilling tea already. Wouldn't you be a little wary about? But sometimes they do things and also in hope that they could sue as well too. It's the rabbit hole goes deep. But I just want to say this, and I'll just close it out with this. I mean, I don't know what their sentence they're going to give him. I don't know. It's just sad all around, because I believe in my heart that there's some things that went on when he was young, and he, you know, was maybe touched not in the right ways. And, you know, I believe that some things he might have endured some trauma, because usually that's where it starts. I'm not negating what he's done, and I'm not excusing what he's done. And I'm not putting all the blame on the girls and the families. I'm not putting all the blame on his victims. But I'm also not putting. I just know it's just a sad situation all around. That he really let his career reduce to this. And if he had been smarter, and if he had, especially, you know, when you amass a certain amount of money and certain things, you got to really watch your step. But see, these guys think that they're so untouchable that they cannot be held accountable for certain things. And I'm like, you know, they say, well, it's like, just because they black, you know, Bill Cosby, da, da, da. And I know that you'll have a few Harvey, you know who's. We can't really, you know, like YouTube don't like when you say certain people's names. But we all know who I'm talking about. But you gotta remember, there's always something behind these things. And you just gotta really pay attention. And believe me, only God knows really what everything that he did. And he really, you know, and you're guilty like that, you really gotta get your life together. And they said that he's worth negative $2 million now. Of course, he had to fight all, you know, he had all these lawyers and all of that. But don't think you're so untouchable that you can't be held accountable for nothing. But let's not forget, there are RKellys of the world. And what I mean by that is, we live among some of them. We go to school with some of them. We go to work with some of them. We pass them on the street. There's some of us, we had an RKelly in our life that did things to us. And they don't have as much notoriety and fame and money. And there's girls that are suffering in silence too. And boys. Let's not forget. Right? This thing happens every day. And until more and more people speak up, and I encourage you, and I know it's hard to get the strength and the courage to, but if we actually hold people accountable for what they do, and we speak up against these things, far less of these things will just be swept under the rug, and people can finally get justice. But we also have to not victim shame and blame. Especially if you're a girl, or what were you wearing? What were you doing that time of night? It could be broad daylight and I'm out on campus and somebody just come and attacks me. And here I just have a regular plain Jane outfit on. It's like, oh, were you looking at him a certain way? Were you know, what's going on? I know investigators and people got to do their job. but don't re-traumatize the victims. It's one thing something happens to them, but it's also another thing when they already go through the kits, and it's another thing to victim shame and blame them. You're re-traumatizing them all over again. And so that's why I'm just somebody, I don't really assume until there's proven fact, or, but all I just want to say is this. It's sad all around, and RKelly really did things to these girls. I really believe that, they should and deserve the justice that they deserve. I really do. But we also have to remember there's two sides to every coin here, and you just have to see things for what they are. And I think this should be dialogue for us to say, like, we have to really protect our girls, especially our black girls, much better. We have to, and our black boys, because maybe, let's say if RKelly really got the healing he did maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. If he really got the healing that he needed, maybe he wouldn't be in this predicament right now. Break that cycle. It's just crazy all around. But that's all I got to say about the whole thing. And I just hope y'all have a blessed day, and really tell me what you think about this whole thing. Do you really believe that he is totally guilty? Do you really feel like, hey, he's not? Do you feel like there's equal amounts of blame here? Do you think that, there's a lot of factors into this? I think there's a lot of factors into this. It's very complicated situation. Even though, he need to be held accountable for a lot of things he's done. But he wasn't the only one at work here, and that's what we really failed to remember. But, I'm glad that that the real victims get the justice they deserve. And all we can do is just keep pressing forward and just pray for their healing, and that he should get some healing as well. Because I feel like some things really happened to him. And, that's the way it rolls, y'all. But hey, I gotta go and get some work done. But I love you guys. I will see you guys another time. And remember, this is the Fly Girl T at your service. And remember, I love you guys, and I'm rooting for you guys each and every day in every way, and Fly Girl way. And I hope that you truly enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, stay lit, stay fly. Just rock out, take on the world however you see fit, and look good doing it. All right, but I see you guys. I love you guys. Take care.